Hey everybody, welcome to a very special edition of Fandom Wars, where we are inside our new under construction studio. I'm Brent Hardis.
I'm Blair Bass.
And this is all for you.
Yeah, so the great thing about this studio is this wall will be filled with action figures. Probably an eighth, a tenth, a third of what I have.
Oh my God.
Just sitting in tubs.
Wow,
So
that's a lot.
yeah, it's a small wall. Don't let it confuse you. It's a small wall. I could use a warehouse.
So why is this so special?
So this is special because it gets my action figures out of the box, gets them on display. But this episode is special. That's why our studio is special. But this episode is special because we are going to be going over our top 12 for 2023 and our most anticipated for 2024. Now, as you guys know, our list is going to be very different because Brent focuses more on media, movies, TV shows, where I focus more on the action figure world.
Yes.
So when we're going through our list, I had a great year in action figure collecting. So it was really tough to narrow down my list to my top 12. So what I did was I kind of cheated a little bit and did some honorable mentions. So as you can see, they're sitting up here. So let's go through them super quick. First honorable mention I'll talk about is this Sorzor Warriors Osis. This guy is, it's its own IP, but it looks so much like and reminds me so much of early 90s, late 80s action figures. Yeah. Bright colors, anthropomorphic, either animals or dinosaurs, with guns, dressed up, leather jacket. It's just fantastic. The blues, the greens, the orange,
very
the
colorful.
Pink, very, pop so much. Second one is My Batman is Michael Keaton. So when McFarlane came out with this Michael Keaton Batmobile and 89 Batman set, I was all about it.
I love this, by the way. He looks so good. Like, the figure itself, it looks great. A lot of articulation points, and it just looks just like Michael Keaton's Batman.
It is, it was a great purchase. Absolutely great purchase. I'm a big fan of what McFarlane's doing. I know it's hit and miss in the collector community, but I was a big fan. So the third one on my cheat list here is Hasbro's Blob. This, Toy Biz did one years and years ago, but this one, I just love it. It's so fresh.
He looks just like the X-Men 97 Blob.
Absolutely. And when I put together the Brotherhood, it's going to go great on the little section back here.
Can I throw something in here real quick?
Yeah.
Just in case you haven't seen, we got to speak with some of the showrunners from the X-Men 97.
That's right.
Original X-Men 97 at Retro Toy Con. Go and check that out after this.
That's a good plug.
Thank you.
So, lastly, anybody who knows me knows that I'm a huge Ninja Turtles fan.
Really?
Absolutely huge. Yeah, just a little bit. And the 1989 series is it for me. So when NECA started coming out with their Toon line, it was impossible for me not to put one on here. And Rex one was one that was never, there was never an action figure made of him. A huge fan of him in the show. So here he is in all of his beauty and articulated plastic form. So
which animated show is he from? The original?
The original, yep. 1989, awesome. I think season 2, episode 8 is like whenever Rex won.
That's great.
I think it's New York's Shiniest. I could be wrong in that. But,
all right.
All right. So I'll take these down.
All right. While you're doing that, I'm going to talk to the great people for a quick sec. So one of the reasons we're doing this now instead of at the end of December was because December was great for, I'm assuming, toys, but also for TV and movies. Hell, 4 of my top 12s are from December. December was banger after banger after banger. And speaking of top 12s, would you like to go or you want me to talk about the first?
You go ahead.
All right. Speaking of top 12, number 12 in movies was Oppenheimer. This was a very good movie. I'm not going to watch it again, but it was very good. And you can see my review on it from earlier on The Watchers. Now, I thought Robert Downey Jr. did a great job in this. He's probably going to get an Oscar. There's probably going to be multiple Oscars for this movie. Okay? And speaking of which, number 12 again for the TV shows is House of the Fall of the House of Usher. I'm sorry. Now, I reviewed this also on The Watchers, and this was a great limited series. And if you haven't seen it, I totally suggest go watch it. It's an easy binge. It's only 8 episodes, and you will get hooked. Michael Flanagan did it again with a great limited series. Go watch Midnight Mass as well. Sorry, back to you.
Midnight Mass I've seen. I haven't seen the other two yet. It's on my list. All right. My number 12 for action figures this year is going to be this big fella right here. Now, this big fella was made by Justin Ishmael, and if you know anything about early 90s, his name is Pluto, and he comes from the Toxic Avengers line. Now, what makes this figure so cool and so special is he was never produced. He was a figure that was never produced. Justin took you can go into the history of it, you can find it all over YouTube, but really said, hey, this was a figure I think was important, recreated this figure and launched it and came out with it.
Can I ask you something about this figure before you take it off?
Yes.
Okay, so if you don't know, an anticipated movie for the upcoming year, not upcoming, we're in 2024, is the new remake of The Toxic Avenger with Peter Dinklage as the Toxic Avenger. Do you think this character might be in the new movie?
That's a great question. I don't know.
Okay.
I don't know. I think it would. It depends on how far they want to go into the storyline. I mean, he could be a throwaway. It could be like a hint for the next movie.
Gotcha.
Yeah. So.
All right. Well, we're going to move on to number 11. And number 11 for us, movie-wise, is... Oh my God, it's Barbie! Sorry, I had to do that. Or, I'm just kidding. I hate to say that I like this movie, but I did. And it's very original, and that's why it's on the top 12. It's an original movie. It's very outside looking in, very meta, and it reminded me a lot of Elf. And once again, I have this on review with The Watchers. Please go check that out as well. And our number 11 TV show is Gen V. What a great show. It's a...
I watched that one.
Yeah. Did you like it?
Loved it.
It was a spin-off of The Boys. And if you watch till the end, you even get to see Homelander and Billy Butcher. And speaking of which, I'll wait till the end of all this for our most anticipated to tell you something else. But go ahead with your number 11, sir.
Okay, so number 11 for me is going to go into the world of, we'll say, nostalgia. I loved Indiana Jones. Temple of Doom is my favorite Indiana Jones movie.
Same here.
You know, when I was a kid, my grandparents had it on VHS. All the grandkids would sit around and watch it at least once a day. It was
when you first watched it, was it scary to see Kalima?
Absolutely. When he ripped the guy's heart out, absolutely, and dumped him into the fire. But you know, when Hasbro came out with their Indiana Jones line this year, it was just a line that I absolutely fell in love with. I want more. I think they're done with it. If they continue, it would just make my day. But this Indiana Jones figure, for nostalgia purposes, is definitely going to be my number 11 figure.
Awesome. Well, number 10, movie-wise, is Avatar, Way of the Water. Now, a lot of people didn't like this movie. I wasn't a huge fan of it, but it looked amazing. And I watched the first Avatar in the theater 3D, and I watched this one 3D as well. It's one of those movies, when you get done watching it, you take your glasses off and you just got to rub your eyes, because that's a long time of watching any movie in 3D.
How long is it?
How long is it?
Yeah.
It's probably about 2 hours and 15 minutes.
Wow, that's
And that's a whole
long time
nother
for 3D.
That's a whole nother complaint I got about 2023's movies. Okay, but number 10 on our TV list, another watcher, is The Righteous Gemstones. I love this show. Oh my God, Danny McBride knocks it out of the park again. And season 3 was the best season. It really brought the family together. It really did.
Absolutely. You know, to me, they could end it now.
Oh yeah, it could have totally been ended, but because of the viewership that it got renewed for season 4. I'm excited for that.
All right, so my number 10 is a 100% nostalgia pull.
What you got?
All right. I did not have a lot of He-Man action figures as a kid. As a matter of fact, I only had two because I'm a kid of the early 90s. So this Mattel Masters of the Universe Masterverse figure right here, it's a new adventure Skeletor. This was the Skeletor, that I played with. I never saw the show. I still haven't seen the show to this day. But just this look for Skeletor was it for me as a kid. So when Mattel came out with this figure a little bit earlier this year, like it was an instant buy. There was no waiting for it to go to clearance. Hey, I'll get it on sale. No, sir. This one was a pre-order instant buy. I just love this figure, and it's 100% nostalgia. He just happened to be, I don't know where he came from. He just happened to be in my pile of toys. I know it's a ridiculous look for Skeletor, especially those who are, He-Man fanatics, but for me, I just absolutely love this figure.
It looks great.
Yeah.
It looks great.
It looks just like the toy did. So just better articulation. And
he's got a lot of articulation points.
yeah, absolutely. I think 22, is how many the suckers got.
Wow.
I could be making that up. But
Yeah,
anyways, that's my number 10.
Okay, number 9, movie-wise, is going to be none other than the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Mutant Mayhem.
Fantastic.
Now, this movie was really fun, and it had a lot of great voice actors, and it took a lot of what Into the Spider-Verse was, with that artistic animation that you've probably never seen before otherwise than Into the Spider-Verse or Across the Spider-Verse. I really love this movie. Did you like this movie a lot?
Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? This was one of the first movies that my wife and I took all our 3 kids to, sat down, watched, and they were just absolutely enthralled the whole time. And, my kids know that Daddy loves Ninja Turtles. He's got a Ninja Turtle room, and for me to be able to have that experience with them for the first movie was pretty fantastic.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Number 9 on the TV side is none other than Picard Season 3. This is what we wanted the last Star Trek movie to be. This is what we wanted any Picard show to be. They could have had this season and been done. This is the last of it. No more Star Trek with Picard, Riker, Worf, or any of them. This was so good. The last episode alone was enough to give you goosebumps when they get back on the Enterprise D and they just took it to the Borg. Great. Great. Did you watch any of that?
Nope.
Okay, well, it was great. My sci-fi nerds out there, I'm sure you watched it, and I'm sure you loved it like I did.
Yeah. I have nostalgia from watching Star Trek as a kid, but haven't seen 0 of it since I've been an adult.
Gotcha.
But, all right, so moving on to my number 9. So third-party companies have been big this year. Memory Toys is one of those third-party companies. They did this Ancient Bears line. One of the ones that I love the most out of this Ancient Bears line is this Steel Black Bear. But I'm going to fudge a little bit too here, Brent, because they originally came out with this one, and then they decided, hey, I'm going to do...
They wanted a black bear, not a brown bear.
Well, they came out with the brown bear and said, hey, this is an easy repaint. Why don't we just do that? And then they said, oh, we're going to have a very limited edition. We're going to make it a panda bear. So I was like, oh, I love panda bears.
Okay.
So why not that? And then Big Bad Toy Store said, hey, let's do a polar bear. So I was like, man, I'm all about bears. We got the first 3. Why not? Let's go with the 4, the Ninja Turtle of bears here.
Now, does the polar bear come with a Coke?
No. No.
You know how they're the Coke mascot.
He should.
In winter.
I should get like a little Coke to put in his hand or something
That
like that.
would be pretty cool.
Or just tear up a Coke can in front of him. But, this series is just so cool. I love, as I mentioned before, anthropomorphic, creatures. The fact that they came with this little battle armor that they can wear while they're fighting. I mean, you're already a bear. Why do you need, battle armor? But anyways, I absolutely love this figure.
You know what this one actually reminds me of is the Golden Compass.
Oh, this one right here?
Yeah.
I could absolutely see that. Out of this line, the Black Bear is my favorite just because the way the silver pops, the red eyes. But I got to tell you, I thought the panda was going to be my favorite. but the Black Bear really stole the show for me. So this is my number 9.
Okay. Well, while you're moving those out of the way, let's talk about my number 8 movie, which was another great review that I did on The Glass Onion, which was a Knives Out story. Now, if you've seen the first movie, you would love this movie. Go watch my review on it. It was really fun, and it's another one of those who did it, who done it, and it's a great series, and I'm hoping that they do another one. And speaking of the other ones, we got not the fountain. Oh my gosh, I can't talk. Not only is my voice leaving me, but so is my mind. The Foundation. I'm sorry. The Foundation season 2. We have. Foundation season 2. The Foundation is a great new sci-fi IP, which I did another Watchers on as well, and it's on Apple TV. If you haven't seen it yet and you have Apple TV, I suggest watching it. You will love it. It's a totally new concept. There's no there's not any kind of copycat sci-fi-ness to this that I feel at all. And it's post-apocalyptic Earth, like thousands of years later. And just, yeah, I love this show.
Awesome. If you don't have Apple TV, Brent will put his username here and his password right.
No, he will not.
Very good.
That's pretty good.
Number 8 for me. This is a new original IP. Spiro Toys came out with their Animal Warriors of the Kingdom. This is General Thane.
He looks like Grodd.
Yeah, he kind of does. I think I would like my Grodd to be a little bit taller, but all depending on how big the Flash is. But, there are several figures in this line. They came out with, I think, all the way up to Wave 3 just this year alone. But, I like the big beefy boys. And, this one, Gorilla was fantastic. I mean, he moves super well. He's just a bad looking.
He's a beast.
Mofo. I just absolutely love this figure.
He literally is a beast.
Yeah, he is. You can put some of the, another character sitting here, but he's going to look great on the shelves just because they pop. And who
the
doesn't
color is
love,
great. Yeah.
Yeah, who doesn't love anthropomorphic creatures? God knows I do. And this guy just really stands out.
Okay.
All right.
Awesome. Well, now we are on number 7. Number 7, we have Super Mario Brothers. I love Super Mario Brothers. People can say what they want. Good movie. Great animated movie. It's on Netflix now. It's on Paramount Plus now. Hell, you could get it anywhere now. It's on Peacock too. That's right. And just a great, great movie. The kids love it, and you'll get plenty of nostalgia for it as well. Number 7 on the TV show is another great Apple TV Plus show I haven't reviewed yet because it's not over yet. It's Monarch, Legend of Monsters, and it's the first season, and it's the most torrented show ever from Apple TV so far.
Really?
Especially most sold is what that means. And it's a good show. I would have never imagined how good they would have made Godzilla and all the other things we've seen so far look. This looks like movie quality, not some TV show. So if you haven't started watching it, get Apple Plus again and watch it. Or wait till it's all over, then get Apple Plus, binge it, and then be done.
You're really selling me on this Apple streaming service.
I'm sorry, man. There's a great number of movies and TV shows out there on Apple TV Apple Plus.
Yeah, what's one more in the bucket, right?
Exactly.
We've got all the other ones.
Right.
All right, so we're on number 7.
Yep, we're on number 7.
All right, number 7 for me, Four Horsemen Studios, the fantastic company. You can't go wrong with them. And this year, they really started shipping out some of their Cosmic Legions line. I know this has been on a lot of people's lists, but
oh, wow.
this,
what is that?
This sucker right here, his name is High Warden Slog. And I mean, he is just like, I talked to you about beefy boys. I mean, look at this guy.
Wow.
The color on him is fantastic. You can swap out his head. You can take off his little dome here if he'll let me. Maybe he won't. I don't know. Who cares? Now,
is this a independent IP on its own?
This is original IP. Yep, something that they're really doing on their own. So just the figure alone, I mean, like you look at like some of the detail, like in the sculpting work in the back, and I mean, he's just so cool. And he's one of these figures that I put on my desk while I'm working, and I can't help but look at and just fiddle with while I'm in a meeting or something like that. He's just absolutely a cool figure to me. So Howard Slog is my figure on number 7.
Yep, number 7. We're going through this, aren't we?
We are.
Speaking of number 6, which is what we got now, we have DC's summer blockbuster that it didn't do great, but I thought it was the best one of the summer, The Blue Beetle.
Oh, yeah.
The Blue Beetle did not get the props that it deserved.
Agreed.
I believe that James Gunn is going to keep the Blue Beetle into the new DC universe. This movie had a lot of heart and a lot of laughs. Granted, there was a lot of silly stuff too. The villain made no sense, but I really enjoyed this movie. It was a fun movie to watch. Okay? And we are going to talk about number 6 TV show, which I think everybody liked. It's on Disney Plus. Loki, season 2.
Oh, man.
Oh my! I loved how this show ended. It was so good to wrap up this character's arc.
Absolutely.
From the very first Thor movie until now. He got the ending that he deserved.
Absolutely.
He really and truly did.
I was a big fan of that show.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of people were.
Yep. I think how they ended it, like if they absolutely pushed it and had to come out with another season, I think that they could finagle it somehow.
Well, if it wasn't for Loki season 2, if you haven't seen it already, What If season 2, the Watcher is going through and he's going through the timelines, and we see the Watcher look at the tree like at the end of Loki season 2, and it's now green, and so the Watcher's What If season totally changed because of Loki.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Well, and it really kind of helped with the whole Jonathan Majors situation that was going on. So
we don't know how that's going to work out, but who knows?
yeah.
What's yours, number 6, buddy?
So my number 6 is the S-Ray toys. This is the first one I've purchased in this line. They have a lot of gladiator type figures that have come out, but this will be my first purchase because I like the big beefy
Oh my gosh,
figures.
that dude is massive.
Right. So he's like one of the first creatures that they've come out with. He was an LA Comic Con exclusive. His name is Big Horn Rhino, I believe. And rhinoceros is my favorite animal, so I mean, it was like a must get for me.
I love the detail in that one.
Yeah, he's fantastic. He's a little bit cumbersome when he comes to standing because he's got these little rhino hoofs. But man, just a great figure all around. Articulated jaw. And once I get a couple gladiator figures, I can just see him like trying to bash their heads in with this huge club that he's got. So that's my number 6.
He's a lot bigger than some of the other figures I've seen too.
Absolutely. It's just a fantastic figure all the way around.
So are we ready for number 5?
Let's do it.
Number 5 was from December. One of the December ones, Wonka. Now, I went over this in The Watchers. This movie had so much nostalgia. It was so much fun. You knew from the beginning that it was a kid's movie and it was magical in the sense of don't think too hard. Don't put too much reality to it. It had a lot of great stuff to this, and I love this movie.
Absolutely.
Have you seen this movie yet?
I have not seen it, but I did watch a review of it, and I kind of hemmed and hawed a little bit, but once it comes out, I'll definitely.
Awesome. Okay. Number 5 on the TV shows. You'll never believe it. Yes, you will. Ahsoka, a Disney Plus show. What a great show. I don't think there's any plans for season 2 yet, but they ended it where they could or couldn't do one. But I know that Dave Filoni has a movie coming out where he's going to be bringing her into it as well.
Nice.
So I loved that show, and I love that they brought Hayden Christensen back in as Anakin / Darth Vader, just like they did for Obi-Wan. Just a all-around good show.
It's another one on my watch list. I haven't gotten around to it, but definitely want to try to. With everything that's coming out now, it's definitely one that's the one.
Oh, and by the way, I hope I don't spoil anything for anybody because it's past 23 and 20. So if you haven't seen it, go watch any of the stuff that I'm talking about.
Absolutely. Okay, number 5?
Yep.
All right.
number 5.
So number 5 on my list is Maestro Union. Is another company that's doing anthropomorphic creatures, and this year they came out with this figure, absolutely beautiful.
Wow.
It's a tiger figure, Blade Master Wang. This guy is fantastic. He comes with his little smoking pipe. We'll post pictures and stuff like that, with his different hands and different wardrobes and stuff like that. But just a cool all-around figure. Again, it's like third-party companies and anthropomorphic creatures have really been the theme this year, which is also what I'm really into. So it has just been a fantastic buying year for me. These figures do cost a little bit more because they do usually ship direct from China, which I guess all figures technically do. But I don't know, just a really cool figure, really cool accessories. The detail on this is absolutely fantastic. So that's my number 5 figure.
Awesome. He kind of looks like a Kung Fu Panda type guy.
You know, he reminded me of, in Ninja Turtles, there was a character called Tiger Claw. And that's really what kind of sold me on him. So.
Okay. Number 4 is one that I didn't review because it's before I started doing all this, was John Wick 4. Oh my God, I love this series. I love this movie. So good. And it had a totally new way of doing filmmaking when in one of the specific fight scene that was amazing. It looked like a video game. You've seen this movie, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Do you know the scene I'm talking about where they're going room to room?
Yep.
And if you haven't seen this, if you haven't seen any of the John Wicks, what have you been doing with your life?
Right. Right. I think it's our generation's like Die Hard or Lethal Weapon.
Oh my God.
Right? I mean, it's
but
just so
every single movie is good. It's not like any one of the John Wick movies are bad. They're just fun to watch.
been really fun.
And you know what makes them great?
Keanu Reeves.
Ish. What makes them great is the fact that Keanu Reeves doesn't say really anything. He's got very limited vocabulary in this movie, which is great because he's not a great actor, but these movies are awesome.
Oh, he's not a great actor. Come on, Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure. Episode or movie 4, 5, 3, whichever one.
Yeah. Did you see that one?
No.
Yeah, you shouldn't have.
No. Okay.
All right, number 4 TV show, The Mandalorian, season 3, another Disney Plus show. Such a good show, such a good latest chapter of this show.
My favorite character.
Bo-Katan. Sorry, y'all. A little tongue-tied. And we actually got to see the mythic and legendary Mandalorian. What was that thing called in there? Have you seen the show?
Yeah.
Okay. Bo-Katan actually gets to see this creature on Mandalore. I can't wait to see when this comes back or if it's in the movie, because they're going to have to go into this and they're going to have to explain it because it's too big not to.
Yeah.
Too big not to.
Yeah, you're right. It's amazing. Like you talk about the shows that 2023 we're just a few days in. It feels like a lifetime ago.
I know because
refresher on
from January till December, there was just so much going on, and honestly, the movies were okay, but the TV shows were better.
I would agree with that.
So what's your number 4?
All right, number 4 for me. All right. So I like the beefy boys. So Loose Collector came out with a new line that they're doing. And it's their Cryptic Monsters. They have a werewolf coming that's as big as this Hyde figure. Now, Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde, huge fan of the book. I like that genre of horror. I like the dichotomy of the dual personality. But, all that aside, man, you just look at this guy. I mean, he is just ridiculous. Look at the sculpting. Look at the beefiness. I mean, go to bed,
so
Hulk.
much detail.
Yeah, this guy would smash any Hulk you put in his way. Are you kidding me? And, he's just like an awesome looking figure. He balances really well, which is rare for big figures. But, he's got these big beefy toes and feet that help hold him up. So that is my number 4 figure.
Wow, and that is really cool looking.
And he also is like a good weapon if somebody breaks in and you happen to have him on your nightstand.
Okay, number 3, movie-wise, is one that came out in December as well. and it is one that will absolutely break your heart. This movie was so good, so true to the actual story. The movie I'm talking about is The Iron Claw. I did a review on this movie. I know wrestling. I follow wrestling since I was a kid, and I didn't know the complete story. But yeah, it was
And
so good.
And a pretty small independent studio, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah,
on that,
it's
right?
A24, and in fact, A24, if you haven't heard, is now in partnership with Max, and so any A24 movie is going to go directly to Max
Oh, cool.
moving forward.
Didn't know that.
And number 3 on TV shows, Superman and Lois, the last season, which was so good, and that's a CW show. I know I know it's a comic book show, but so much better than most of the other Superman shows out there. Honestly, the guy who plays Superman, he does such a great job. And if you haven't seen that last episode, this is not a spoiler. He's fighting Doomsday, and it is so. I don't know how else to put it, but the CG on this blows all those other CW shows away. Seriously.
Nice.
So great.
I got into a little bit of the CW shows. I kind of pulled away after Arrow and.
Yeah, this
know,
was pretty
midway
much
through
separate
Flash.
from the rest of them.
Nice. Okay.
Yeah.
I'll have to give it a shot. All right. So my number 3.
3.
Okay. My number 3 on this list is a complete nostalgia pool.
Is that a Battletoad?
It is a Battletoad from Premium DNA. This is a figure and a line I have been waiting for forever. Fun fact, Battletoads never had an action figure line.
Really?
Nope, they had like these little bendy figures, but they never had an articulated action figure line. And I didn't bring him with me, but this guy comes with like the drill hand and the big hand and, you know, the sled that he can push. Premium DNA, you know, relatively new company.
Very cool.
They're doing Barnyard Commandos. They're doing Mad Balls. They just announced their Care Bears.
Mad Balls.
Yeah,
Wow.
so they've got a lot going on. But this right here, I played the game a ton as a kid, and so this figure, whenever I saw that it was coming out, I was like, yes, because you know this Zitz figure right here, just to me goes perfectly with the Ninja Turtles, that whole era of figures. So absolutely love this figure, and that's why he's number 3 on my list.
That's a great number 3, man.
Thank you.
Great number 3. I love the Battletoads. And I did play that on Super Nintendo.
Yeah.
Yes,
yeah.
I did. Now,
Crazy hard to beat.
yes. Now, we're going on to number 2, which was the best Godzilla movie ever.
Agreed.
Godzilla Minus One.
Agreed.
Another December banger. And I'm glad I waited to do this because that movie it wasn't just about Godzilla. I know that most of these monster movies, you don't care about the human factor. You don't care because the stories are always horrible. But this one made a difference. This one, you actually care about the people. It's set in World War II. Go watch my review on The Watchers. Great, great movie.
Awesome.
Did you like it?
Yeah, I was a huge fan. Godzilla was always kind of like to me, but that movie was absolutely fantastic.
Okay.
Loved it.
Number 2 TV show for 2023, Ted Lasso, Season 3, the last season.
Never seen Ted Lasso.
Another great Apple Plus show. And if you haven't seen Ted Lasso, what the hell are you doing with your life?
Well,
You've got a
don't
family.
have Apple Plus.
And I don't really have a big family right now, so it's fine. But I'm a huge Ted Lasso fan. I was even Ted Lasso for Halloween, even though I look more like Tim Conway, I was told. I don't want to ever show that picture.
You can see it here.
No! Ah, damn it. But this was a great show. It gives you all the feels, gives you all the warmth, and for someone that's just such a nice guy, a good person, to have a show where it celebrates being a good character. And it's all about character for all the others that are in this show. I hope that they have a spinoff. I hope that we get to see more from that whole universe, the world. Please give me more.
So is it done? The show's done?
The show is done.
Oh, okay. Interesting. 3 seasons?
3 seasons.
Oh, maybe I'll watch it now.
Yeah. It's only 10 episodes a season, I believe.
Sounds like super easy watch.
Yes. What's your number 2, buddy?
So number 2 for me is another nostalgia pool. I was a huge
wow, look at
fan
this.
of Gargoyles.
Me too. I love that show.
You know, as you watch it, as an adult, you see that there's much more complex themes in it. It really brought on the dark animation style, or assisted with the dark animation style of the early to mid '90s. You had Batman the animated series that was out. It was kind of dark. You had X-Men '97, super bright, but also some dark themes in there. And Xanatos is a fantastic villain. But when it comes to this action figure, he's bright, he pops, and I just remember as a kid seeing him put on that Gargoyles armor to be able to fight the good guys, and I was like, "Holy cow, that's crazy!"
Pop quiz, hotshot.
Uh-oh.
Who did his voice?
Who did
This
Xanatos?
villain? Yeah.
I have no idea who.
Captain William T. Riker, not William T. Just Will Riker, number 1 from Star Trek. I don't remember his actual name, but it's great.
Nice. Well, I did not know that, but I'll take that as I'll put that in my back pocket as a fun fact. But just a cool figure. NECA has done a fantastic job with their Gargoyles line. I want them to continue it. The problem is this line is huge. So he's the leader. He's got a Steel Clan, which means I've got, it's the same figure with different colors. I had to buy 4 of them to kind of build it out. So
you bought 4 of these?
No. Well, if you count him, I have 5. So we'll hang them from the ceiling or something like that.
Oh my gosh.
We'll figure out where to put them. But this figure from NECA's Gargoyles line was just complete nostalgia pool. Absolutely love this figure.
It looks great. Line. Are you excited for the live action movie?
Oh, are you kidding? I'm absolutely excited.
I can't wait to hear who's going to be what characters.
Yes, it's going to be.
That's not this year, I don't believe. I think that's going to be 2025.
Yeah.
Yep. Now, our number 1s are coming up.
Okay.
Right now,
Yep.
What is my number 1? Any idea? What's your guess?
I would say Scream 6.
No.
Oh.
No. My number 1 for this year, and like I say, this is just my opinion. I don't care what y'all like. I'm just telling you what I like. Sorry. My number 1 for this year, or last year, is Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3.
Ooh, okay.
This movie will have you laughing. It'll have you crying.
Yep.
I would have never thought I would have cried at Rocket Raccoon.
No.
But you do. And you almost, and a second cry almost with Peter Quill. And James Gunn did an amazing job ending this series. Now he made it to where there's another Guardians team. Maybe we'll see them in the future MCU, but this team is done. This group of characters is done as the Guardians, and just this one I did as the Watchers as one of my first ones, so it wasn't my best, but I loved this movie.
I agree. It was fantastic.
It'll break your heart.
Absolutely fantastic movie.
And our number 1 TV show, only my opinion, I don't care what you think otherwise. Sorry. Not sorry. The Last of Us on HBO Max, or Max now. This movie was, as my son would put it, very, very close to the game. I didn't play the game, but I fell in love with this show. This show, oh my God, it was so captivating. It grabbed you, and you were in it. And did you see this show?
Yes, absolutely.
What did you think?
I was a huge fan of it. Huge fan. I didn't know anything. I knew it was a game.
Yeah.
And that's all I knew.
Right, and that's kind of how I was.
Right, so I went in there completely blind, had no preconceived notions.
Same.
My biggest fear was it was going to be Walking Dead.
Yeah, because honestly, whenever I think of video game to movie, or video game to TV show, I don't ever think that there's been too many good ones. But this one, it just soared. And like I said, I didn't watch the game. It's the same thing when I hear people go, well, you didn't read the book.
Right.
I don't care. This show was amazing.
I agree.
This show was amazing.
Another season coming out?
Yes. I'm hoping it's going to be at the end of this year.
Okay.
Or it'll be at the beginning of 2025.
Cool. Awesome. Looking forward to that.
So what is your number one?
All right.
Your magnificent
All right. So as I said earlier,
number one toy.
there is no doubt that I'm a Ninja Turtles fan. So it's gonna skew Ninja Turtles. But Heat Boys was a company I never heard of, but they came out with their Ninja Turtles Mecha Leonardo. This figure right here is a quintessential mech for me. I was never big into Transformers. A lot of it's metal and plastic. I mean, this sucker's got some weight to it. And I was a big Power Rangers fan as a kid. So when you can turn this Leonardo around and you can, of course I have no fingernails.
Look at the guns.
But when you can open up his shell and spin around, and there's a little Leonardo controlling it from the inside.
Oh my God, that's awesome!
I just absolutely fell in love. Articulation, I mean, through and through, man. His arms, his fingers. There's little
wow, man.
No,
I gotta ask. I'm sure there are, but the other three.
Yeah, so actually Heat Boys announced that they are coming out with the other three. I've got the next one on the list is Michelangelo. He should be arriving any day now, as soon as they announce. But they also announced they're doing a Splinter in April, which I don't know how that's going to be a mech, but we'll figure it out.
Yeah.
A Shredder, and then a Krang. So I imagine the Krang will probably be a big beefy boy. So whenever that comes out, probably 26, 27. I'll make sure, and he'll probably be at the top of my list that year.
Awesome.
So this
so
figure right
looking.
here is
so
my
good
number one figure. For
I can see why,
2023.
honestly.
Yeah, he's amazing and heavy.
So what are we going to talk about now, Blair?
Well, I think what we're going to go into now is the things, the figures, the movies, the TV shows that we're most anticipating for 2024.
All right. Well, I'll tell you a couple of the ones I'm anticipating is going to be near the end of 2024. Beetlejuice 2.
Oh, yeah.
Michael Keaton is reprising his role as Beetlejuice. So is Winona Ryder. And also Jenna Ortega is going to be in that, so I don't know about that. But Beetlejuice, come on, Beetlejuice.
Absolutely.
I did a review for Halloween on the original Beetlejuice. And man, I forgot how much I love that movie.
Oh, it's fantastic. Like you, I watched it over Halloween, and it holds up so well this many years later.
So I told you about Beetlejuice. What are you looking forward to?
So a couple things I'm really looking forward to is, again, big year for anthropomorphic creatures, big year for third-party companies. Shure Toys is coming out with their Abyss Force, which is a shark squad that's coming out there. I'm a big fan of street sharks. These kind of fit that niche for me. There are 3 sharks that they're launching the wave with, or the line with. A tiger shark, a great white shark, and then a hammerhead shark, all in fighting clothes, British fighting clothes. I don't know. It's kind of wild, but I just love the thought that we're going there at this point in time. Sharks with legs, isn't it? And then something else that I'm looking forward to is a Kickstarter, and it was called Meta Travelers Legendary Series. So I backed this on Kickstarter. Just really cool original IP. Space type creatures. It just looks fantastic. Nice, bright colors on these figures. I think they're really going to pop on the shelf. So there's a couple of things so far.
Okay. Something else that I'm looking forward to is Superman and Lois, the new season. It's actually the last season, and they're cutting out a lot of people because they're cutting down on cost. But I really want to see how they're going to come back from the fight with Doomsday. I'm really excited for that. Really excited.
A few more things I'm excited for is going to be Harbinger Studios' Savage Crucible line. Now, we talked to these guys.
We did, didn't
we? When we were in South Carolina at the Retro Toy Con, so go check that out. Super brief conversation with one of the creators there, but we showed some of the figures that are coming out. Again, another Kickstarter I backed, but these are just really, really neat looking figures. Another one that I'm excited for is Mattel. Mattel's Turtles of Grayskull.
Oh, I saw that picture.
Yeah,
that looks so cool.
They I think some people got the figures late December. I have not been able to find them yet, but this is like a perfect combination of a great blend between Turtles, He-Man, Masters of the Universe. He-Man's still in it. Like, it's this whole cool storyline, independent storyline that they've created, and they're including comic books, so you can follow along with
nice.
the story of what's happening.
Is that going to be IDW or is that going to be DC?
That's a great question. It is in the toy package.
Oh, okay.
Like, it comes with a comic book that you can open up.
That's just how He-Man was way back in the day, because He-Man was. Tell me if I'm wrong. I don't. I mean, I'm not a toy guy, but He-Man was not on a cartoon at first. He-Man was its first just a toy, and they had comics to introduce you to all these new characters.
If my understanding is correct, you're right. I think they launched at the same time to help build out the story of He-Man.
Okay.
So,
well, that sounds awesome. I can't wait to see those.
They're great look. From what I've seen, they look fantastic.
Awesome. Well, something else I'm really looking forward to is when Gen V ended, Boys Season 3 is going to pick right up after it.
Oh, nice.
I love The Boys. Such a good show on Amazon Prime. And I can't wait to see it. Can't wait to see it.
Yep. Yeah, fantastic show. I actually even like the comics. One of the few comics that I've read.
See, I've never actually read the comics.
Oh, well, how about that? There's a switcheroo, huh?
Right? I said something about toys. You're saying something about comics. Go figure.
Yeah. Neither one of us are probably correct. But
You're not wrong.
But okay, so on top of that, a couple more things that I'm interested in this year. You have another Kickstarter that I backed. It's a company called Ideas from Mars. They're Defenders of Eden, Armies of Ashmore line. I like these because they're big, bulky dinosaur gladiator type figures. They just look really cool. You got, I think the Brontosaurus is like a mystic or something like that. So he's got a wand. You've got the leader, that's a Triceratops. Just a really, really cool line that they have coming out. Also, another Ninja Turtles line that's coming out for 2024 from a company called Mezco. I don't have any Mezco figures. This will be my first time diving into that company. But just looking at the full lineup that each figure comes with, insofar as swappable heads, hands, weapons, it's just going to be really, really fun.
I can't wait to see some of these.
Yeah, hopefully they're right here next year.
Another one that I'm looking forward to. So, I'm a big Godzilla fan, Kong fan. Like I said, I'm loving that Monarch show. I loved the Godzilla -1 movie. We got the new Kong and Godzilla movie coming out this year. We're going to see Baby Kong. That'll be fun.
We'll see how that goes.
Yeah, who knows? Hopefully it's good. I got high hopes for it.
Yeah, me too. The Nacelle company is coming out with their line of biker mice from Mars.
Ooh.
Yeah, so Nacelle company did a show on Netflix called The Toys That Made Us.
Yeah, I watched that.
Yeah, so it's a great line. They've done a couple of more. I think Toy Store Near You might be done by them as well. But they've gotten some old school IPs like Biker Mice from Mars. Calzamu Mesa is another line that they're getting ready to do. But really looking forward to those figures. They've shown them. They just showed the bikes that they're going to start coming out with as well. Because you're a Biker Mice from Mars, right? You can't have just be a mouse. You have to have your bike that you ride on. And another company that I'm looking forward to is Totally Rad Creations is coming out with their Almighty Legends figures. Now these are based off of different angels, different biblical angels like Gabriel and Azrael, and they're all armored up with wings, and they just look really, really cool. I'm excited to get these toys, get them in my hand, and just kind of see how they look and how they, where can I fit them? Like, which line can I squeeze them into? So, excited about those.
Cool. Another movie that I'm actually very excited about, and only because, now this is a Sony Spider-Man type movie, it's Venom 3, but the only reason I'm excited about it is because of the possibility of an Andrew Garfield or a Tom Holland being in this movie. I don't know. I hope so, because after the last Spider-Man movie, we saw Venom in that, and we saw, it was an end credit scene, and we also saw at the end of Venom 2, in the end credit scene, that we saw Tom Holland as Spider-Man.
Yep.
So
It's
looking forward to
interesting how they keep intertwining these. It's like
yeah,
you think they're separate, but
the Sonyverse not so good
Right.
at all. Like Craven coming out next year, not looking forward to that. Makes no sense how he should have any powers. Not going to go watch
What
it.
about that other movie that they're coming out with, Madam Web?
Oh my God, that looks horrible. I mean, I think they're doing Madam Web just because they want to be able to keep the character.
Sure.
But that movie looks so bad. You,
We'll see how
I
the
can't.
action figures look.
I can't tell you how many times I've said to people, you can't have a Spider-Man movie, with basically Spider-Man villains movie, without some kind of Spider-Man.
Well, we'll see. You're judging it. You haven't seen it yet.
Yeah, because Morbius turned out so great.
Okay. Well, moving on to some things I'm into.
Morbid time, yeah.
Morbid time. A few more things I'm looking forward to. Fresh Monkey Fiction is coming out with their Operation Monster Force line. So this is a line where they incorporate a whole bunch of different monsters. I think the military, teams up with Dracula, and he brings back his undead to fight this Egyptian god. So
Well, that sounds really cool. Is it going to be any kind of other media with it, like any comics or anime?
There may be a comic that goes along with it. Actually, I think there is if you go to their site. But I just love the thought of Van Helsing leading this army, teaming up with Dracula to go. And, they've showed previews that there's going to be a Bigfoot figure coming with a Tommy gun. It's just like absolutely ridiculous, but in all the right ways. And another line that was a Kickstarter that I backed was a company called Morphonauts that are combat creatures. Now these are, I think there's like a lion, a bear, a wolf, and there's another creature I can't think of. Oh, a shark. But they all have this armor on. They all come from different planets, and it just looks really, really fun. It's a really good pop and swap. You can pop the armor off this one, put on the other one, and just really build it out. So it looks like a fun line. They're only launching with 4 figures, so it's something to play around with, see if I like it or not.
Okay. Well, I only got 2 other things I'm really looking forward to. I'll tell you about my last 2 things.
Go for it.
It's going to be the new Ghostbusters movie, Frozen
Absolutely.
Empire. Now,
Yes.
I loved the last Ghostbusters movie because it wasn't all new people. Well, it kind of was at first, but it stayed within the universe, the original universe. And we got to see all those people again. We get to see them again in this one. We see Bill Murray in the trailer. We see Dan Aykroyd. We see Ernie Hudson. And we see the people from the last movie. This one, even Patton Oswalt from my buddy Duck out there. But this movie looks so much fun. I can't wait to see it.
Yeah, I completely agree with
Now, the last thing that I'm looking forward to has got to be none other than Deadpool 3. The only MCU movie of the year. They're not putting out any other movies this year but Deadpool 3. Now, I know that there's a lot of issues going on with Ryan Reynolds and the writers and Marvel. Apparently, they don't want to do what he wants to do, but he wants to do it the right way, and Marvel wants to do it all woke. Screw Marvel. Do it Ryan Reynolds' way. He's been doing good with Deadpool ever since he started it. I'm excited. You got Hugh Jackson back as Wolverine.
It's a huge passion project for him, was the first one. And just, as hard as he pushed to build it and to make it, if this is the third one, let the guy do his thing.
Let him go out on his
Out of
terms.
the way.
Yeah.
Out of the way, let him do his thing. He hasn't failed us yet.
You know that Disney actually fired him from 7 other projects for Disney that would involve Deadpool because he's not listening to what they want?
Stand strong, Ryan.
Yeah. Screw Disney. Do
Yeah.
it the right way.
Yeah.
As Cartman would say from the Pandaverse, no, I'm not going to go there. I'm not going to go there.
The last 2 things that I'm looking forward to, Maestro Union is coming out with their Fury Planet line, and they're coming out with 2 Panda brothers. As I said earlier, I'm a huge fan of pandas. They've got the 2 brothers, Yin and Yang, that are coming out. One's a black panda with white markings. One's a white panda with black markings. One's peaceful and calm. The other one is, more aggressive. Apparently, they come from the Warcraft world, maybe they're like a pull from that. I don't know. I don't know anything about Warcraft. I just know that these are two really good looking figures that I'm excited for. Cool. And my number one most anticipated figure for next year is NECA's Giant Krang.
Now, I did see a picture that you showed me.
Let me tell you guys, like,
how big do you think it's going to be?
That's a great question. I think probably somewhere in the 20 to 22 inch range.
Wow.
Like, just a big giant Krang. I had the toy as a kid. He was on the TV show, a huge part of it. We've got the smaller version. We've got the Walker version. I want the giant version.
Now, this one is from the original, the good cartoon from the 80s and 90s.
Yep, absolutely.
So cool.
Yeah, so he is my most anticipated figure for 2024.
Now, we just went over a lot of stuff that we're anticipating for media, TV, movies, toys.
You're still watching, God bless you.
Yeah, I know, really. Now, we do want to promote ourselves on here as well. We have some other stuff coming up. You've got a lot of stuff coming up on here for Carolina Reviews where you're going to be talking toys. That's why we're doing the construction in here. Mm-hmm. And then also, we're going to be doing some WrestleFest. We tried one time with a WrestleFest. It didn't go so great. We're going to try again for the Royal Rumble and see how that goes. Our second live stream ever. Hopefully that'll go a lot better. And then
something brand new.
Yeah, something brand new. My son Jonathan is going to be trying to do a new game segment for the channel where he's going to be talking about everything from stuff that can get on Steam or PlayStation or Xbox, who knows. And I'm really looking forward to how he's going to turn that around.
Absolutely. We're really, really building out what we're trying to do here to cover all the different aspects of fandom. You know, we talk about what we're doing in 2024. We've got some thoughts on what we want to do in 2025. Just, a lot going on. So we
want to
appreciate your support.
Yeah, we want to thank you for watching what you have watched. I mean, we've had some really good ones go viral. We've had the Renaissance Fair video go viral for Fandom Wars. We've had Jack Reacher, which I didn't know that one was going to be as big as it was. That one got some pretty high votes.
Absolutely. We're going to keep, building out the action figures. I know there's a lot of action figure reviewers out there. Ours will be short, quick, trying to get them in, under a minute reviews. Just bam, bam. How's it look? How's it look compared to other figures?
In 23, you got to meet someone super cool that you need to go watch. You got to meet Pixel Dan.
Absolutely.
Oh, and that was so cool. He's so fun.
Absolutely. Pixel Dan is the godfather of toy reviews. He's why I really started, diving back into toys. Just a positive figure in the community, somebody who's fun to watch. So we hope to be doing a lot more interviews as we continue to go more and more cons this year. So.
And if y'all have any ideas, or if y'all want to be on here and show off any of your collections, we would be more than happy to do that. Just like when we went to, with Fandom Wars, when we went to Abari, Super Abari. That was so much fun, and that was from a suggestion from someone. Now, we would love to go out and see anything that you guys have, any collections that you are super proud of, please let us know.
Yeah.
We will come out and show them off for you.
Absolutely, and the last final thing on top of that is we really want to start getting more into our community. So we want to start going throughout North Carolina, South Carolina, and hopefully throughout the Southeast. Go to your favorite comic book shop.
Yes.
Let's talk to those guys. Go to your favorite toy store. How did they get into it? And really, really let you guys know, what is out there in this North and South Carolina.
And something that's actually coming up really soon that I'm excited to go to, that I'm going to take a little film, get some video for. It's a chili cook-off at 26 Acres, which is right down the road. Oh my God, that sounds so good. I'm so hungry, and some chili would be great. I don't need to have this belly grow anymore, but I can't wait.
Again, we thank you guys so much. Like, click, subscribe.
Please do all the things.
Yeah.
Comment.
Come check
Share
us out.
us with whoever you got.
Absolutely.
Please. Subscribe. Wait, no. We do not have an OnlyFans.
Well, you don't.
Is it for your feet again? You really keep trying to push those feet.
Thank you for watching.
Thank you. If you stayed to watch this,
God bless you. Why? Why
exactly.
are you still here?
But thank you. We will see you in our next video.
Bye, guys.